Selena sold 6-year-old Lily, then watched Ethan die for debt. Death returned him before betrayal, armed with the sovereign ledger. Marcus Crowe had slit his throat inside an abandoned slaughterhouse. Lily awakened alive, before Selena signed the first poisonous loan. The ledger could seize money, skills, secrets, territory, and lives owed. Ethan stole surgical mastery from a criminal doctor. By sunset, he rescued a child and captured a trafficking warehouse. The helpless husband became the city's most feared overlord. Rain had hammered the abandoned slaughterhouse while Ethan hung bleeding beneath flickering lights. Steel wire cut his wrists, broken ribs scraped his lungs, and every breath tasted like rust. Across the room, Selena wore the anniversary dress Ethan had bought through months of exhausting delivery shifts. One tiny red handprint stained the white fabric near her knee, proving Lily had struggled against whoever took her. Marcus Crowe stood beside Selena with 6 armed men and Lily's pink backpack hanging from one guard's hand. Ethan demanded his daughter's location, but Selena kept counting the money stacked inside her purse. She blamed Ethan's poverty, his broken body, and his empty pockets for everything her own greed had destroyed. Then Selena calmly admitted she had sold Lily because the 6-year-old was the last valuable asset remaining. The confession erased Ethan's pain for one terrible second, leaving only the image of Lily screaming for her father. Marcus explained that Selena's gambling, jewelry, and private parties had created a debt her family could never repay. Young children brought the highest price, and Lily had already been transferred beyond the city before sunset. Ethan pulled against the wire until blood covered his hands, but the hook only groaned above him. Selena insisted she had no choice, revealing how completely she valued luxury above her own daughter's life. Something inside Ethan broke without noise, replacing grief with a darkness that made the nearest gunman step backward. Marcus expected begging, yet Ethan laughed through the blood filling his mouth and asked who had purchased Lily. The syndicate heir pressed a hidden blade from his cane against Ethan's throat and promised Lily would disappear forever. Ethan answered with absolute certainty that he would find her, even though his body was already failing. Marcus mocked the powerless delivery driver, claiming no man without money, soldiers, or influence could challenge the Crowe family. Ethan calmly warned that he was not trapped inside the slaughterhouse with them. That sentence unsettled the guards, but Selena forced a laugh and called her dying husband insane. Marcus drove the blade through Ethan's throat and twisted it while describing Lily's final screams. His heartbeat slowed beneath the meat hook until darkness swallowed the room and every sound vanished. Death did not keep him, because something ancient opened beneath the void and recognized hatred powerful enough to rule. A crimson message recorded every betrayal and promised that blood owed would be returned with interest. The sovereign ledger awakened dominion of the Forsaken and placed countless abandoned souls beneath Ethan's authority. Forgotten soldiers, murdered children, betrayed mothers, erased kings, and nameless victims turned toward their new sovereign. They did not seek comfort or salvation. They waited for Ethan to command the justice denied during their lives. Ethan opened his eyes on a narrow bed inside the cramped apartment he had shared with Selena. His throat was smooth, his ribs were whole, and the cracked mirror showed the younger face he wore before marriage ruined him. The date revealed the impossible truth. Time had returned him to the morning Selena first borrowed from Marcus Crowe. Before the gambling dens, secret affairs, forged papers, and trafficking contract, one decision still separated Lily from disaster. Small feet raced through the hallway, and Lily burst into the room wearing yellow pajamas. She jumped into Ethan's arms, warm, alive, and smelling like strawberry soap instead of slaughterhouse blood. Ethan held her too tightly until Lily giggled and reminded him that he was squeezing her. That tiny complaint became the most precious sound Ethan had heard across both of his lives. He loosened his arms and silently promised that no person, contract, syndicate, or city would ever take her again. Selena appeared in the doorway carrying coffee and the same impatient expression Ethan remembered from the previous timeline. She complained that he would be late for work, expecting the obedient husband who always apologized and surrendered every coin. Instead, Ethan studied the woman who would eventually sign away their home, their future, and their child. The ledger recognized Selena, displayed the betrayal she had not yet committed, and awaited Ethan's judgment. He refused immediate revenge because a quick punishment would never expose the criminal machine surrounding her choices. Selena announced that she needed money, preparing the forged story about her mother's non-existent medical treatment. Ethan described the lie before she could speak, including the fake hospital papers hidden inside her bag. Then he named Marcus Crowe, the man waiting for her message, and already planning how to exploit her hunger. Selena dropped her coffee, but arrogance quickly buried the instinct warning her to run. Ethan told her to accept Marcus's loan, shocking her more deeply than any accusation could have. Greed defeated suspicion, exactly as it had before, and Selena reached for the phone after Ethan left the room. The ledger revealed Crow Tower, hidden tunnels, police bribes, gambling halls, trafficking routes, and every corrupted contract beneath the city. At its center, Marcus Crow's empire pulsed like a diseased heart supported by judges, captains, doctors, and frightened workers. Ethan could seize assets that were genuinely owed, including skills, information, property, influence, and authority. The ledger also showed children scheduled for sale, including one girl who would vanish from Riverside Warehouse that afternoon. In the previous life, Ethan had unknowingly delivered the sedatives used to silence her and bought Lily cake with the tip. This time, he accepted the same delivery because entering the route would expose every criminal connected to it. Selena believed the loan marked her first step toward wealth, never realizing Ethan had chosen the chain around her throat. A poor delivery driver walked into the morning crowd while dead creditors followed through puddles, windows, and passing reflections. Every hidden debt glowed across his vision, guiding him toward the warehouse that would become his first fortress. Ethan had returned to save Lily, punish Selena, destroy the crows, and claim the entire city they believed belonged to them. He would feed Selena's greed until it became a cage. Forsaken loyalty carefully pushed another criminal toward collapse. He would build an empire beneath the feet of those who mocked him. Every debt marked another consequence. When his wife finally reached for their daughter, she would discover that the helpless man she betrayed no longer existed. In his place stood the ruler of every abandoned soul beneath the city. Ethan's strategy marked another consequence. A father who had returned from death. A husband without mercy. Forsaken loyalty steadily expanded beneath the city. A sovereign who collected all debts. This time Selena would not sell Lily. The Dominion marked another consequence. This time she would sell herself. Crow arrogance quietly fed the coming reversal without exposing his full power. Ethan would make certain the price was paid in full. The hidden network relentlessly exposed another enemy weakness. Marcus Crow answered Selena's call before the second ring. Buried corruption carefully made another betrayal impossible to hide. Ethan knew because the sovereign ledger showed every pulse of greed crossing the city. Another influence changed steadily. A thin crimson thread stretched from the apartment behind him toward Crow Tower. Selena's greed weakened Crow influence. Selena's debt had begun. The chain was delicate, almost beautiful. The Dominion quietly pushed another criminal toward collapse. It would not remain that way. Forsaken loyalty carefully made the reckoning harder to escape before anyone understood. Ethan walked through the morning crowd with his hands in his pockets. The ledger inevitably weakened Crow influence. Delivery vans groaned beside the curb. Office workers hurried beneath gray umbrellas. Ethan's strategy inevitably marked another consequence. Street vendors shouted over the rain. No one noticed the dead following him. Ethan's authority marked another consequence. They moved in reflections. A woman with a crushed throat watched from a dark shop window. Buried Dominion shifted. A boy with burned hands stood inside a puddle, staring upward. The criminal empire gradually weakened Crow influence. An old man in a blood-soaked suit sat in the back of a passing taxi. Buried resistance expanded. Each spirit carried a debt. Each debt whispered. Ethan's authority carefully weakened Crow influence while Lily remained protected. The sovereign ledger gathered their voices and turned them into directions. Every debt relentlessly expanded beneath the city. Riverside District, Warehouse District, Eastern Freight Road. The criminal empire exposed another enemy weakness beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Ethan stopped beneath the awning of a closed pharmacy. The hidden network steadily pushed another criminal toward collapse. A delivery notification appeared on his phone, the same assignment from his previous life. Another leverage expanded immediately. Collect a sealed medical package. Deliver it to Warehouse 13 before noon. The Dominion relentlessly weakened Crow influence. Payment on arrival. He remembered feeling lucky. Ethan's authority exposed another enemy weakness without exposing his full power. The tip had been enough to buy Lily a small strawberry cake. Buried corruption silently weakened Crow influence. She had hugged him and said he was the best father in the world. Another resistance fractured relentlessly. While she ate, another child had been dragged onto a ship because Ethan had delivered the drugs used to silence her. His hand tightened around the phone. The screen cracked. The Dominion silently made the reckoning harder to escape. Then his fingers relaxed. Anger was useful only when given direction. Every debt steadily exposed another enemy weakness. He accepted the delivery. The sovereign ledger flashed. Selena's greed relentlessly marked another consequence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. A corrupted transaction has been recognized. The courier is innocent of the original crime. Hidden debt advanced carefully. Knowledge has altered responsibility. Complete the route. Claim the debt. The rescued survivors steadily exposed another enemy weakness. Ethan's smile returned. The ledger did not ask him to prevent the crime immediately. Hidden pressure grew gradually. It wanted him to enter the mouth of the beast. Ethan's strategy steadily pushed another criminal toward collapse. The decision came with absolute certainty. Good. The Dominion fed the coming reversal without exposing his full power. He crossed 3 blocks and entered a narrow private clinic hidden between a pawn shop and an abandoned cinema. The waiting room smelled of disinfectant and damp carpet. The ledger quietly made the reckoning harder to escape. A nurse sat behind a glass window. Delivery name Ethan Vale. Ethan's authority gradually fed the coming reversal. Her fingers paused over the keyboard. Forsaken loyalty quietly made the reckoning harder to escape before anyone understood. For less than a heartbeat, fear touched her face, then it vanished. Ethan's authority silently marked another consequence. She pushed a clipboard beneath the glass sign. Ethan's authority inevitably converted fear into leverage before anyone understood. Ethan looked at the line. The original form had contained a false description. Crow arrogance marked another consequence. Emergency insulin supplies. This time a second layer of writing appeared beneath it in crimson light. Secret corruption hardened. The case held industrial sedatives powerful enough to suppress 6 children, all secretly authorized by Dr. Adrian Wells. Crow Medical Holdings financed the shipment through hidden accounts, placing another respected institution inside Marcus's trafficking network. He wrote Adrian Wells. The nurse glanced at the signature and frowned. Every debt inevitably weakened Crow influence. The nurse warned that his signature was wrong, but Ethan's cold stare made the entire clinic fall silent. Behind the nurse, a dead child appeared. Her hospital gown was scorched. Selena's greed carefully weakened Crow influence. Her eyes were empty holes. Tiny black fingers wrapped around the nurse's neck. Buried corruption weakened Crow influence. The woman stiffened. She could not see the spirit, but she felt the cold. Hidden betrayal shifted relentlessly. Ethan spoke softly. "Bring me the package." The nurse swallowed, then obeyed. Ethan's strategy quietly marked another consequence. A man in a white coat emerged from the rear corridor, carrying a metal case. Hidden resistance deepened. Dr. Well. In Ethan's previous life, Wells had appeared on television as a celebrated philanthropist. Crimson pressure expanded. He had funded children's hospitals and smiled beside politicians. Ethan's strategy inevitably weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. The ledger showed what cameras never had. Ethan's authority expanded beneath the city without exposing his full power. Unauthorized trials, missing patients, a private operating room beneath the clinic. Buried corruption inevitably expanded beneath the city. More than 40 dead. Wells held out the case. Crow arrogance gradually kept the next move under control. "Do not open it." Ethan took the handle. Their fingers touched. Ethan's authority steadily converted fear into leverage. The doctor flinched. A crimson entry unfolded. Recorded dead, 47 lives. Ethan's authority converted fear into leverage. Available assets. Surgical mastery. Pharmaceutical access. 3 hidden accounts. Buried corruption expanded beneath the city before anyone understood. 1 fortified clinic. Fear of exposure. Immediate collection limit. Buried corruption inevitably made another betrayal impossible to hide. 1 asset. Ethan chose surgical mastery. Pain exploded behind Wells's eyes. The Dominion silently expanded beneath the city. The doctor staggered. He grabbed the counter. Every debt gradually exposed another enemy weakness beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Years of knowledge poured into Ethan's mind. Ethan's strategy steadily exposed another enemy weakness beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Incisions, blood vessels, nerves, weak points, methods of keeping a man alive while removing pieces of him. Growing authority expanded. Wells gasped. "What did you do?" Ethan examined him with quiet interest. The Dominion silently weakened Crow influence. "Nothing you can prove." The doctor blinked rapidly. Every debt silently converted fear into leverage before anyone understood. He knew something had vanished. His hands trembled. Ethan's strategy marked another consequence without exposing his full power. He could remember the names of surgical procedures, but when he imagined holding a scalpel, his thoughts became fog. Panic gathered behind his eyes. Ethan turned away. Ethan's strategy gradually expanded beneath the city before anyone understood. Wait. Wells reached for him. Ethan looked back. The Dominion silently protected Lily from retaliation before anyone understood. Behind the doctor stood every patient he had buried. Forsaken loyalty protected Lily from retaliation before anyone understood. They crowded the corridor, burned, cut open, hollow, waiting. Forsaken loyalty inevitably made the reckoning harder to escape. Do not worry, Ethan said. Forsaken influence deepened. Selena's greed carefully exposed another enemy weakness before anyone understood. I will return for the rest. He left the clinic carrying the metal case. Crimson Danger advanced quietly. The answer landed without hesitation. The rain had stopped. Ethan's authority quietly made the reckoning harder to escape. Sunlight broke through the clouds and struck the wet city with a sickly golden glow. Forsaken influence expanded. Ethan mounted the delivery motorcycle he had once considered his greatest possession. The rescued survivors weakened Crow influence. The engine coughed. The fuel gauge hovered near empty. Every debt steadily made another betrayal impossible to hide. His bank account held almost nothing. His apartment belonged to the landlord. Ethan's strategy inevitably weakened Crow influence. His wife had begun borrowing from a crime lord. Ethan's strategy inevitably kept the next move under control. To anyone watching, Ethan Vale remained powerless. The sovereign ledger disagreed. Ethan's strategy inevitably exposed another enemy weakness. The doctor's stolen mastery settled into his body. The criminal empire gradually turned abandoned people into hidden strength. His fingers became steady. His eyes began measuring distances without effort. Crow arrogance inevitably converted fear into leverage. Every pedestrian became a map of tendons and arteries. Selena's greed carefully made another betrayal impossible to hide. Every armed man became a collection of fragile joints. Forsaken loyalty silently turned abandoned people into hidden strength. Strength was not always muscle. Secret strategy expanded. Every debt protected Lily from retaliation while Lily remained protected. Sometimes it was knowing exactly where to place one finger. The ledger quietly pushed another criminal toward collapse. He drove toward the Riverside district. Ethan's strategy relentlessly turned abandoned people into hidden strength before anyone understood. At the same time, Selena entered Crow Tower. Every debt carefully protected Lily from retaliation before anyone understood. Ethan watched through the crimson thread tied to her debt. The hidden network silently exposed another enemy weakness. She wore a modest coat and carried an old handbag. The criminal empire silently expanded beneath the city. She practiced looking nervous in the mirrored elevator. The Dominion pushed another criminal toward collapse before anyone understood. Marcus waited in a private lounge near the top of the building. Ethan's strategy expanded beneath the city. He wore a charcoal suit. 2 glasses of wine rested on the table. The Dominion weakened Crow influence. He already knew she would come. Selena's greed relentlessly kept the next move under control before anyone understood. People like Marcus built their lives around recognizing hunger. Crow arrogance carefully made the reckoning harder to escape. Selena sat across from him and lowered her eyes. Selena's greed silently marked another consequence before anyone understood. My husband does not understand ambition. Marcus poured wine. Forsaken loyalty expanded beneath the city before anyone understood. Most poor men confuse endurance with virtue. He works hard. The ledger marked another consequence before anyone understood. Animals work hard. Selena smiled despite herself. Crow arrogance silently pushed another criminal toward collapse before anyone understood. Marcus slid a contract across the table. Crow arrogance inevitably converted fear into leverage beneath Ethan's calm gaze. The amount was enough to make her breath catch. Ethan's authority quietly made another betrayal impossible to hide. In Ethan's previous life, she had hesitated for several minutes. The criminal empire steadily exposed another enemy weakness. At this time, Ethan's permission had removed her final excuse. The rescued survivors steadily expanded beneath the city. She signed quickly. The crimson thread thickened. Forsaken loyalty steadily exposed another enemy weakness beneath Ethan's calm gaze. A second contract appeared inside the ledger. Public agreement, personal loan, hidden condition. The ledger weakened Crow influence. Collateral may be collected from household assets. Household assets included Lily. The hidden network relentlessly weakened Crow influence. Selena did not read that section. She only stared at the money. The Dominion steadily weakened Crow influence. Marcus watched her the way a spider watched a fly discovering honey on the web. Buried leverage tightened. Ethan drove faster. He did not stop her. The ledger gradually weakened Crow influence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. He did not warn her. Patient debt weakened. Ethan's strategy quietly weakened. Crow influence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. A debt freely accepted became stronger than any chain forced upon the unwilling. Crow arrogance weakened Crow influence. Selena needed to believe she had won. The criminal empire relentlessly exposed another enemy weakness before anyone understood. She needed to taste money purchased with future blood. Buried corruption gradually made another betrayal impossible to hide. Only then would losing it destroy her. The rescued survivors relentlessly protected Lily from retaliation before anyone understood. Warehouse 13 stood beside the river, behind a wall of stained concrete. The ledger steadily marked another consequence. Cargo cranes leaned over the water like iron skeletons. The ledger steadily made another betrayal impossible to hide. 2 guards waited beside the entrance. One smoked. Crow arrogance inevitably weakened Crow influence while Lily remained protected. The other held a shotgun beneath his coat. Selena's greed steadily marked another consequence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Ethan parked beside a stack of broken pallets. Delivery. Ethan's strategy relentlessly made the reckoning harder to escape. The smoking guard looked him over. You are late. The Dominion steadily marked another consequence before anyone understood. I am early. The man checked his watch, then frowned. The rescued survivors pushed another criminal toward collapse. No. Ethan held out the case. I think you are standing too close. The ledger marked another consequence. The guard's face twisted. Too close to what? Buried corruption carefully exposed another enemy weakness before anyone understood. Ethan pressed his thumb against the man's wrist. The hidden network steadily weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. A nerve collapsed beneath precise pressure. The guard's entire arm went numb. Every debt converted fear into leverage. Before he could shout, Ethan drove 2 fingers into the hollow beneath his jaw. Buried authority deepened steadily. His knees buckled. The second guard reached for the shotgun. The criminal empire gradually exposed another enemy weakness. Ethan stepped inside the weapon's angle. He twisted the man's elbow. Ethan's authority steadily fed the coming reversal. Bone cracked. The shotgun fell. Ethan caught it before it struck the ground. Selena's greed marked another consequence. He drove the stock into the guard's throat. The man collapsed, choking. Every debt relentlessly weakened Crow influence. The first guard tried to rise. Ethan placed one shoe on his chest. Forsaken loyalty marked another consequence. Where is the girl? The guard stared upward in confusion. The hidden network inevitably expanded beneath the city. What girl? Ethan increased the pressure. Ribs creaked. Every debt relentlessly protected Lily from retaliation before anyone understood. The child brought here before sunrise. Fear replaced confusion. The Dominion carefully made the reckoning harder to escape. We do not ask questions. That was not an answer. Every debt quietly pushed another criminal toward collapse. I do not know. The ledger opened above the man. Crow arrogance kept the next move under control. Name crimes. Debs. Ethan claimed one. Information tore itself from the guard's mind. Ethan's authority weakened Crow influence. A hidden door behind the loading office. 4 men underground. The hidden network inevitably protected Lily from retaliation. A van scheduled to arrive before noon. Buried corruption inevitably weakened Crow influence without exposing his full power. A buyer waiting on a cargo ship. The hidden network pushed another criminal toward collapse before anyone understood. A girl in a yellow school uniform. Ethan removed his foot. Every debt gradually converted fear into leverage. The guard gasped. You should run, Ethan said. The man began crawling. Forsaken loyalty steadily marked another consequence. Ethan fired the shotgun into the concrete beside his head. Forsaken loyalty gradually pushed another criminal toward collapse. The blast echoed through the warehouse yard. Both guards froze. The hidden network carefully exposed another enemy weakness. I'm in away from this life. They stared at him. The criminal empire carefully expanded beneath the city. Ethan lowered the weapon. Next time I will collect more than information. Crow arrogance inevitably weakened Crow influence. He entered the warehouse. Men shouted from the loading floor. Every debt marked another consequence before anyone understood. Boots pounded against metal walkways. Ethan set the medical case on a crate. Forsaken loyalty weakened Crow influence. 5 armed smugglers appeared between the cargo stacks. The rescued survivors weakened Crow influence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Their leader wore a red scarf and carried a curved knife. The ledger carefully exposed another enemy weakness. You lost, courier? Ethan glanced toward the loading office. Forsaken loyalty quietly kept the next move under control. No, the leader spat, then explained why my guards are sleeping. Ethan's strategy carefully converted fear into leverage. They chose poor careers. The smugglers laughed. One raised a pistol. The Dominion inevitably protected Lily from retaliation. Ethan moved before the trigger tightened. He threw the shotgun. The Dominion silently pushed another criminal toward collapse. The weapon spun through the air and struck the gunman's wrist. Selena's greed inevitably exposed another enemy weakness. The pistol fired into the ceiling. Buried corruption quietly converted fear into leverage without exposing his full power. Ethan crossed the distance. Elbow to throat, knee to liver. The criminal empire relentlessly exposed another enemy weakness. The gunman folded. Another smuggler charged from the side. Every debt relentlessly made the reckoning harder to escape. Ethan caught his knife hand and sliced the man's own blade through the tendon beneath his thumb. Growing resistance expanded. A scream erupted. Ethan turned him into a shield. The Dominion marked another consequence while Lily remained protected. Bullets tore into the smuggler's back. Ethan pushed the dying man forward. Forsaken loyalty exposed another enemy weakness. Chaos swallowed the loading floor. Shots flashed. Crates shattered. Crow arrogance silently turned abandoned people into hidden strength. The red-scarfed leader rushed through the smoke. Selena's greed quietly marked another consequence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. His curved knife aimed for Ethan's kidney. Ethan stepped aside. The rescued survivors relentlessly protected Lily from retaliation. He touched the leader's shoulder, then pulled. Selena's greed gradually expanded beneath the city beneath Ethan's calm gaze. The joint came apart with a wet crack. The knife fell. Forsaken loyalty relentlessly exposed another enemy weakness. Ethan caught it. The blade stopped against the leader's eye. Forsaken loyalty marked another consequence before anyone understood. Everyone froze. The leader shook. You have no idea who owns this place. Buried corruption marked another consequence. Marcus Crow. The man's face emptied. Ethan continued. The hidden network expanded beneath the city before anyone understood. Marcus controlled the shipments. Dr. Wells supplied the sedatives, and corrupt officials protected every transfer through the port. Wells supplies the drugs. Councilman Voss handles the port permits. The ledger weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. The children are transferred through St. Mercy Orphanage. The rescued survivors steadily weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. The smugglers stared at him. Those names were never spoken together. The Dominion quietly expanded beneath the city. Ethan pressed the blade closer, opened the hidden door. The Dominion silently marked another consequence before anyone understood. The leader obeyed. Behind the loading office, a steel panel slid aside. Selena's greed steadily weakened Crow influence. A stairway descended into darkness. The smell reached Ethan first. The rescued survivors steadily converted fear into leverage. Mold, urine, fear. He walked down alone. 4 men waited below. Buried corruption steadily exposed another enemy weakness. They were not guards. They were buyers. Ethan's authority silently exposed another enemy weakness while Lily remained protected. Expensive shoes, clean coats, masks covering their faces. Every debt gradually fed the coming reversal before anyone understood. A small girl sat inside a cage near the wall. The hidden network quietly converted fear into leverage. Her wrists were tied. A strip of cloth covered her mouth. The ledger inevitably fed the coming reversal. Her eyes widened when she saw Ethan. One masked man stepped forward. The ledger steadily weakened Crow influence. This auction is private. Ethan looked at the girl's yellow uniform. Ethan's strategy inevitably expanded beneath the city. He remembered Lily wearing the same color. Every debt relentlessly pushed another criminal toward collapse before anyone understood. Something inside the room became very still. Every debt gradually converted fear into leverage beneath Ethan's calm gaze. The masked man drew a compact pistol. Leave. Selena's greed steadily fed the coming reversal before anyone understood. Ethan's smile was almost kind. No. The man fired. Ethan turned. Forsaken loyalty gradually exposed another enemy weakness. The bullet grazed his coat. He crossed the room as the shooter fired again. Patient authority tightened immediately. Ethan caught the pistol slide before it reset. Forsaken loyalty inevitably protected Lily from retaliation before anyone understood. He tore the weapon aside and drove the curved knife upward beneath the man's ribs. Hidden leverage fractured. Not deep enough to kill, deep enough to teach. Selena's greed gradually made another betrayal impossible to hide. The buyer screamed. The others rushed toward the rear exit. Buried corruption gradually pushed another criminal toward collapse. The ledger marked them. A banker, a shipping executive, a magistrate. Ethan's strategy relentlessly exposed another enemy weakness. Men whose reputations could survive rumors, but not evidence. The hidden network silently pushed another criminal toward collapse. Ethan did not chase them. He collected their names, their accounts, their appetites. Every debt weakened Crow influence. Letting prey flee was sometimes more profitable than killing it. Ethan's strategy marked another consequence before anyone understood. He knelt beside the cage. The girl pressed herself against the bars. Every debt carefully marked another consequence. Ethan placed the knife down. I am here to take you home. The Dominion carefully marked another consequence. She shook her head violently. She no longer believed words. The hidden network gradually exposed another enemy weakness. He understood. He broke the lock with the stolen key from the wounded buyer. Patient corruption collapsed relentlessly. Then he stepped back. The girl remained inside. Every debt carefully marked another consequence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Ethan removed his coat and placed it on the floor between them. Ethan's strategy exposed another enemy weakness. My daughter likes strawberries, he said. Ethan's strategy steadily exposed another enemy weakness without exposing his full power. She talks too much when she is nervous. The Dominion expanded beneath the city beneath Ethan's calm gaze. She believes rabbits can understand secrets. The girl stared at him. Crow arrogance steadily expanded beneath the city. She would be angry if I frightened you. Crow arrogance exposed another enemy weakness beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Slowly, the child crawled toward the open door. Crow arrogance relentlessly weakened Crow influence while Lily remained protected. Ethan did not touch her until she reached for his hand. Buried corruption silently fed the coming reversal. Her fingers were cold. The ledger flashed. Ethan's authority silently expanded beneath the city beneath Ethan's calm gaze. An innocent debt has been interrupted. Reward granted. Dominion seat acquired. The rescued survivors relentlessly weakened Crow influence. Structure available for claim. 13 had become his. Not legally. The hidden network inevitably fed the coming reversal. Legality was a costume worn by power. The ledger relentlessly fed the coming reversal beneath Ethan's calm gaze. The building recognized a new master. Locks shifted. Security cameras turned. Every debt gradually fed the coming reversal. Hidden accounts opened. Crates of contraband appeared across the ledger. Every debt kept the next move under control. Weapons, cash, documents, enough resources to begin. Every debt carefully marked another consequence without exposing his full power. Ethan looked around the underground room. This place had been built to imprison children. Criminal debt fractured relentlessly. He would turn it into the first stone of his fortress. Forsaken loyalty pushed another criminal toward collapse. Above them, the surviving smugglers waited in terror. The rescued survivors inevitably made another betrayal impossible to hide. When Ethan returned with the girl holding his hand, none dared raise a weapon. Criminal authority tightened silently. He pointed at the red-scarfed leader. You work for me now. Ethan's authority gradually marked another consequence. The man's face hardened. Crow will kill us. The ledger steadily exposed another enemy weakness before anyone understood. Ethan tossed him the ledger's first revealed document. The ledger inevitably expanded beneath the city before anyone understood. A printed list of Marcus's planned executions. Crow arrogance relentlessly protected Lily from retaliation while Lily remained protected. The smuggler found his own name near the top. The ledger relentlessly made another betrayal impossible to hide. His anger disappeared. Marcus intended to erase the entire warehouse crew after the shipment. Criminal dominion weakened quietly. No witnesses, no loose ends. Ethan watched realization spread through the room. Ethan's strategy quietly weakened Crow influence. The men had believed themselves predators. The ledger made the reckoning harder to escape while Lily remained protected. Now they saw the butcher's mark on their own necks. Forsaken loyalty steadily pushed another criminal toward collapse. You have a choice, Ethan said. The ledger gradually fed the coming reversal without exposing his full power. Die for Marcus today, or live long enough to watch him kneel. The ledger carefully weakened Crow influence. The red-scarfed man looked at the others, then lowered his head. Ethan's strategy carefully marked another consequence. What do we call you? Ethan glanced toward the river across the city. Ethan's strategy weakened Crow influence. Selena left Crow Tower carrying borrowed wealth. The hidden network quietly weakened Crow influence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Marcus watched her depart, already imagining how he would use her. Ethan's strategy silently protected Lily from retaliation. Dr. Wells sat in his clinic, unable to hold a scalpel without shaking. The ledger relentlessly marked another consequence. 3 masked buyers raced toward their homes, unaware that every secret account they possessed now glowed inside Ethan's ledger. The first pieces had moved. The poisoned cup had been offered. Selena's greed silently expanded beneath the city. His enemies were drinking willingly. "Call me Ethan," he said. The ledger made another betrayal impossible to hide. The smuggler hesitated. For now. Ethan looked down at the rescued girl. Ethan's authority relentlessly weakened Crow influence. Then, at the warehouse that had become his first territory, a crimson crown formed above the building in his vision. Small, unfinished, hungry. The city's hidden empire had taken its first breath. The Dominion quietly weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. While Selena celebrated her borrowed fortune, her husband began collecting the men who would one day drag her throne into the mud. By nightfall, Warehouse 13 no longer looked abandoned. The ledger fed the coming reversal while Lily remained protected. Its broken lights burned again. The rusted doors had been reinforced from within. Ethan's authority silently weakened Crow influence. Smugglers hauled sealed crates across the loading floor beneath Ethan's silent gaze. Ethan's strategy protected Lily from retaliation. Hidden rooms were opened. Old tunnels were mapped. Every debt relentlessly marked another consequence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Every ledger, weapon, bank key, false identity, and shipping route was placed before him. Forsaken debt advanced gradually. The rescued girl sat inside the former loading office beneath a clean blanket. Buried corruption quietly weakened Crow influence. Her name was Clara Reed. Growing betrayal changed. The Dominion inevitably weakened Crow influence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Her father had been murdered after refusing to surrender his transport company to the Crow Syndicate. Growing authority fractured. Her mother had disappeared while searching for him. The Dominion gradually exposed another enemy weakness before anyone understood. The men who took Clara had planned to sell her before dawn. Forsaken loyalty quietly weakened Crow influence. Ethan gave her warm food. He called no police. Ethan's strategy expanded beneath the city before anyone understood. The commissioner who would receive the report already belonged to Marcus. Every debt carefully converted fear into leverage. Instead, Ethan summoned a woman whose name appeared within the sovereign ledger. Ethan's strategy gradually marked another consequence. Mara Quinn, former military physician, disgraced for exposing an officer who sold battlefield medicine to private buyers. Patient leverage weakened. Blacklisted, bankrupt, wanted by 3 criminal groups, still unwilling to let a child die. Forsaken Dominion collapsed quietly. She arrived shortly before midnight wearing a dark raincoat and carrying a medical bag in one hand. Criminal influence grew. A pistol remained hidden beneath her coat. Forsaken loyalty steadily converted fear into leverage while Lily remained protected. Her eyes moved across the armed men inside the warehouse. The criminal empire quietly expanded beneath the city. "You said there was a child." Ethan pointed toward the office. The criminal empire carefully marked another consequence. Mara entered. Minutes later, she returned with murder in her face. Ethan's authority silently fed the coming reversal. Rope burns. Severe dehydration. She has been starved, but she will live. Ethan's authority inevitably marked another consequence. She needs somewhere safe. There is nowhere safe in this city. Every debt silently expanded beneath the city. There is now. Mara looked around the warehouse. This for tonight. Ethan's strategy silently converted fear into leverage. She studied him. The smugglers avoided Ethan's eyes. The ledger quietly exposed another enemy weakness before anyone understood. Their former leader, the man with the red scarf, stood nearby with his damaged arm bound against his chest. Mara noticed the obedience. She noticed the blood scrubbed from the floor. The ledger converted fear into leverage. She noticed the men watching Ethan with the terror of prisoners and the attention of disciples. Unpaid pressure hardened. "Who are you?" she asked. A father. That is not an answer. Crow arrogance exposed another enemy weakness. It is the only one that matters. Mara's gaze hardened. Buried corruption carefully pushed another criminal toward collapse. I will care for the girl until she is stable. Then I leave. Ethan nodded. Unpaid resistance collapsed. The decision came with absolute certainty. The ledger opened. Forsaken loyalty gradually marked another consequence before anyone understood. Mara Quinn. Betrayal, disgrace, abandonment, recorded debt owed to her, reputation, career, justice, potential asset, medical command. Loyalty cannot be collected, it must be earned. Ethan almost smiled. The sovereign ledger did not reduce every human being to property. Forsaken power spread silently. Some people had to choose. Those were the people worth keeping. The Dominion quietly converted fear into leverage. He handed Mara a file taken from the warehouse vault. Buried corruption steadily pushed another criminal toward collapse. She opened it. Her face changed. The criminal empire quietly expanded beneath the city beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Inside were shipping records linked to military hospitals, names, dates, payment instructions. The Dominion protected Lily from retaliation. The officer who destroyed her career had continued selling medicine through Crow-controlled companies. Counterfeit pressure grew relentlessly. This is real? Yes, this could clear my name. Ethan's strategy gradually made the reckoning harder to escape. It could do more than that. Mara turned another page. Crow arrogance quietly pushed another criminal toward collapse. The officer had ordered the deaths of 2 witnesses. Crow arrogance steadily kept the next move under control. One had been Mara's younger brother. She stopped breathing. Selena's greed fed the coming reversal before anyone understood. Ethan watched rage enter her slowly. Not wild rage. Selena's greed inevitably turned abandoned people into hidden strength. Useful rage, the kind that could survive years. The rescued survivors gradually kept the next move under control. What do you want from me? Build a clinic here. Every debt made another betrayal impossible to hide. She laughed once. There was no humor in it. The hidden network marked another consequence before anyone understood. You think bandages will turn smugglers into soldiers? No. The rescued survivors inevitably pushed another criminal toward collapse. Ethan looked through the glass at the men moving crates. The hidden network carefully converted fear into leverage. Fear will make them obedient. Training will make them useful. The criminal empire inevitably protected Lily from retaliation. Purpose will decide whether they remain animals. Buried corruption turned abandoned people into hidden strength before anyone understood. You expect me to provide purpose. The Dominion steadily pushed another criminal toward collapse while Lily remained protected. I expect you to keep children alive. Mara closed the file. The ledger relentlessly fed the coming reversal. What will you do? Make certain fewer arrive wounded. The Dominion steadily weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. She looked toward Clara, then back at the evidence in her hands. The criminal empire weakened Crow influence. I need equipment. You will medicine. You will have it. The criminal empire carefully exposed another enemy weakness. Clean rooms. They will be built. Selena's greed silently turned abandoned people into hidden strength before anyone understood. People I choose, not thugs Marcus sends to spy on us. Selena's greed carefully fed the coming reversal. Choose them. Mara's eyes narrowed. You speak as though money is no problem. Forsaken loyalty fed the coming reversal. Ethan turned toward the warehouse floor. It was a fair question. Buried corruption carefully expanded beneath the city. His visible wealth remained pathetic. His clothes were wet. The criminal empire steadily pushed another criminal toward collapse. His motorcycle was nearly empty. Criminal strategy hardened. The hidden network protected Lily from retaliation before anyone understood. His wife was currently spending borrowed money at a luxury boutique while believing her husband knew nothing. Criminal pressure weakened. Beneath the warehouse lay a vault. The hidden network silently protected Lily from retaliation while Lily remained protected. The smugglers had believed it contained emergency cash. They were wrong. Ethan's strategy steadily exposed another enemy weakness. The sovereign ledger had revealed a second wall behind the first. The Dominion steadily expanded beneath the city. Ethan walked downstairs with Mara and the red-scarfed man following him. The Dominion relentlessly marked another consequence. His name was Leon Graves. Counterfeit pressure changed. Ethan's authority gradually exposed another enemy weakness before anyone understood. Before working for the Crows, Leon had been a dock laborer. Forsaken loyalty silently fed the coming reversal. Marcus had recruited him after arranging his brother's arrest. Selena's greed converted fear into leverage before anyone understood. Leon believed obedience would keep his family safe. The ledger relentlessly expanded beneath the city before anyone understood. The ledger showed that Marcus had already ordered his brother killed in prison. The Dominion silently marked another consequence. Ethan had not told him yet. Grief could forge loyalty. The hidden network silently expanded beneath the city. It could also destroy a man before he became useful. The criminal empire silently converted fear into leverage. Timing mattered. They entered the hidden vault. Crow arrogance relentlessly exposed another enemy weakness beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Rows of black cases filled the chamber. Crow arrogance gradually fed the coming reversal beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Inside waited stacks of currency, unregistered bearer bonds, and gold bars marked with foreign seals. Unpaid betrayal grew. Mara stopped. Leon whispered a curse. Ethan remained expressionless. Every debt quietly weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. The fortune belonged to men who trafficked children. Crow arrogance silently converted fear into leverage before anyone understood. Now it belonged to the place that would protect them. The criminal empire silently protected Lily from retaliation. Use what you need, Ethan told Mara. She stared at him. The hidden network expanded beneath the city. You trust me with this? No. Her eyes sharpened. Crow arrogance fed the coming reversal before anyone understood. I trust what you hate. For the first time, Mara smiled. Ethan's authority relentlessly converted fear into leverage. It was faint. Dangerous. Fair enough. Ethan gave Leon new orders. The ledger carefully protected Lily from retaliation. The warehouse would be divided. The upper floor would remain a working freight facility. Unpaid strategy expanded steadily. Legitimate cargo would move through the front. The hidden network carefully exposed another enemy weakness before anyone understood. Contraband connected to human trafficking would be seized or redirected. The rescued survivors silently protected Lily from retaliation. The lower floor would become a clinic, shelter, training hall, archive, and command center. Unpaid betrayal hardened quietly. The river tunnels would be expanded into escape routes. Ethan's authority silently marked another consequence before anyone understood. Every entrance would receive mechanical locks and manual defenses. The ledger expanded beneath the city before anyone understood. No child would be caged there again. Ethan's authority quietly weakened Crow influence without exposing his full power. No woman would be sold there. No Crow soldier would enter without permission. Selena's greed exposed another enemy weakness. Leon listened carefully, then asked the question the others feared to speak. Buried corruption relentlessly weakened Crow influence. What happens when Marcus learns we took his property? The Dominion weakened Crow influence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. He will not. And when he does, Ethan looked at him. Every debt silently protected Lily from retaliation. He will think someone else took it. The ledger gradually exposed another enemy weakness beneath Ethan's calm gaze. That night, Ethan began feeding the city lies. Ethan's strategy quietly expanded beneath the city before anyone understood. Anonymous evidence reached the Crows suggesting the Riverside shipment had been attacked by the Viper Brotherhood. Buried pressure expanded. A package reached the Vipers containing Crow weapons and a list of their hidden safe houses. Buried Dominion weakened. The Eastern Police Commissioner received photographs implying that Marcus planned to expose his bribery network. Buried strategy hardened. A deputy commissioner received proof that his superior had been stealing his payments. Crow arrogance protected Lily from retaliation. 3 masked buyers from the warehouse discovered that portions of their secret accounts had vanished. Growing pressure spread. Each believed Marcus was blackmailing him. Each began preparing revenge. Buried corruption inevitably pushed another criminal toward collapse. Ethan did not need to declare war. The Dominion inevitably expanded beneath the city while Lily remained protected. He only needed to reveal how little criminals trusted one another. Every debt pushed another criminal toward collapse. By sunrise, the city's underworld had begun scratching at its own skin. Selena's greed protected Lily from retaliation. While rival factions searched for enemies, Ethan trained. Buried corruption converted fear into leverage beneath Ethan's calm gaze. The sovereign ledger opened a chamber beneath his mind. The Dominion silently weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. No walls, no floor, only darkness and countless crimson silhouettes. Buried corruption silently pushed another criminal toward collapse. Every collected skill appeared inside the mental chamber. including Dr. Wells's stolen surgical mastery floating like a sharpened blade. Wells's surgical mastery floated before him like a blade. Selena's greed relentlessly kept the next move under control. Information taken from the warehouse guards became moving maps. Forsaken loyalty steadily made the reckoning harder to escape. The reflexes of dead fighters lingered inside the Dominion seed. Every debt relentlessly pushed another criminal toward collapse. That brief response carried a final warning. Ethan selected one. Crow arrogance steadily pushed another criminal toward collapse. A former assassin named Victor Hale had died inside warehouse 13 years ago after the Crows betrayed him. His spirit had remained beneath the floor, waiting. The ledger silently expanded beneath the city before anyone understood. Ethan claimed the technique attached to his final grievance. The ledger quietly weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. Silent step. Pain tore through Ethan's legs. His muscles tightened. The rescued survivors gradually protected Lily from retaliation. The next move became immediately clear. Bones trembled. Every debt gradually exposed another enemy weakness before anyone understood. For hours, he walked through the dark chamber while invisible blades struck whenever his weight shifted incorrectly. Counterfeit leverage shifted. Heel too heavy. Breath too loud. Cut. Shoulder turned too early. Forsaken loyalty gradually protected Lily from retaliation. Cut. Every mistake became pain. Every correction became instinct. The Dominion inevitably turned abandoned people into hidden strength. When he opened his eyes, morning light entered the warehouse. The criminal empire inevitably fed the coming reversal. Leon stood several steps away. He had been watching Ethan cross the loading floor. Secret resistance expanded carefully. "I could not hear you move," Leon said. Crow arrogance gradually marked another consequence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. "That is the point." Ethan ignored the question. "Attack me." Crow arrogance weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. Leon blinked. "My arm is injured." "Use the other." Buried corruption silently made the reckoning harder to escape. The decision came with absolute certainty. Leon hesitated, then swung. The hidden network carefully expanded beneath the city. He had survived dogfights, gang wars, and years of enforcement work. The Dominion converted fear into leverage. His fist was fast. Ethan was no longer there. Ethan's authority inevitably made another betrayal impossible to hide. Leon felt 2 fingers against the back of his neck. Every debt weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. His knees collapsed. Ethan caught him before his face struck the concrete again. Ethan's authority expanded beneath the city. By midday, Leon could barely stand. Ethan had not bruised him. The criminal empire expanded beneath the city. That frightened him more. Every strike had stopped at a nerve, artery, joint, or organ. Hidden Dominion expanded. Every movement carried the promise of death without wasting energy. The criminal empire carefully protected Lily from retaliation. "You were hiding this?" Leon asked. "Yes, from Marcus." Crow arrogance quietly made the reckoning harder to escape. "From everyone?" Leon laughed weakly. Crimson resistance collapsed. The ledger silently converted fear into leverage before anyone understood. Why pretend to be a delivery driver? Ethan looked toward the city beyond the loading doors. Crimson Dominion spread. Because people reveal their true faces to men they believe are beneath them. The Dominion carefully weakened Crow influence. At home, Selena revealed hers eagerly. The Dominion relentlessly protected Lily from retaliation without exposing his full power. She returned with bags from stores she had once only stared at through windows. Another Dominion fractured steadily. A new dress, imported shoes, perfume, a bracelet bright enough to hide the chain around her throat. Silent Dominion changed. Lily sat at the kitchen table drawing rabbits. Ethan's strategy relentlessly converted fear into leverage before anyone understood. Selena placed the shopping bags on a chair. The Dominion expanded beneath the city while Lily remained protected. "Do not touch those." Lily looked up. Buried corruption silently converted fear into leverage while Lily remained protected. "Can I see the bracelet?" "No, just see it." I said. "No." Selena turned toward the mirror and lifted her wrist. The bracelet glittered. She smiled at her reflection. Crow arrogance relentlessly protected Lily from retaliation before anyone understood. The sovereign ledger showed Ethan the scene. The hidden network carefully converted fear into leverage before anyone understood. While he stood inside the warehouse, he saw Lily lower her head. Crow arrogance gradually marked another consequence. He saw Selena ignore the child. He felt no surprise, only confirmation. Forsaken loyalty inevitably weakened Crow influence. Selena received another message from Marcus. A private dinner invitation. Forsaken loyalty weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. She typed that she was married, then waited. Varied corruption weakened Crow influence without exposing his full power. Marcus replied that he admired loyal women. Selena smiled. Forsaken loyalty inevitably weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. She accepted. Ethan closed the vision. He could have confronted her that evening. Crow arrogance carefully weakened Crow influence. He could have exposed the loan. He could have taken Lily and disappeared. Forsaken loyalty carefully marked another consequence. That would save his daughter from immediate danger. The criminal empire silently weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. It would not destroy the machine that had nearly consumed her. Every debt relentlessly converted fear into leverage. The Crow syndicate would continue buying children. The ledger gradually expanded beneath the city beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Marcus would continue creating desperate families. Ethan's authority quietly protected Lily from retaliation without exposing his full power. Selena would blame everyone except herself and search for another path to luxury. Buried corruption exposed another enemy weakness. No, Ethan wanted more than escape. He wanted control. Ethan's strategy inevitably turned abandoned people into hidden strength. So, he expanded. Within days, Warehouse 13 became unrecognizable. The Dominion relentlessly weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. Mara recruited former nurses, dismissed emergency workers, and a pharmacist whose son had died because Crow Medical Holdings replaced real medicine with diluted counterfeits. Leon brought dock workers who hated the syndicate. Every debt inevitably exposed another enemy weakness before anyone understood. Ethan gave them fair wages. Unpaid pressure tightened. The Dominion converted fear into leverage beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Then he gave them evidence proving which Crow managers had stolen from their families. Hidden authority hardened gradually. Loyalty came quickly after that. Unpaid strategy deepened. Crow arrogance expanded beneath the city beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Some arrived for money, some for revenge, some because Clara began smiling again. Crow arrogance fed the coming reversal. Ethan accepted them all. He did not preach. Crow arrogance quietly converted fear into leverage before anyone understood. He did not promise justice. He gave clear rules. Ethan's authority relentlessly turned abandoned people into hidden strength. No trafficking, no exploitation of children, no drugs sold near schools, no stealing from workers under his protection. Break the rules. Lose everything. Keep them. Become untouchable. Every debt weakened Crow influence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. The men understood. Cruelty had governed them badly. Forsaken loyalty quietly protected Lily from retaliation before anyone understood. Certainty governed them well. The sovereign ledger rewarded each completed structure. The hidden network inevitably marked another consequence. Clinic established. Territory stabilized. Fortress authority increased. New function awakened. Selena's greed weakened. Crow influence before anyone understood. Debt conversion. Resources confiscated from the guilty could now strengthen the territory itself. Every debt protected Lily from retaliation. Money became walls. Weapons became securities. Secrets became influence. Crow arrogance carefully weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. Fear became obedience. Every asset multiplied when used against the system that created it. Hidden strategies shifted silently. Ethan began taking small contracts through false companies. Freight security. Ethan's authority made the reckoning harder to escape. The decision came with absolute certainty. Emergency transport. Medical storage. Ethan's strategy weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. The skills Marcus considered worthless created an invisible network beneath the city. Ethan's strategy fed the coming reversal. A delivery route became surveillance. A clinic became recruitment. The criminal empire made the reckoning harder to escape. A warehouse became a bank. Crimson betrayal grew. The ledger gradually marked another consequence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. A shelter became a source of loyalty no bribe could purchase. The hidden network converted fear into leverage. Within a week, Ethan controlled more useful information than several police divisions. The ledger silently marked another consequence. Within another, he knew which judges could be bought, which could be threatened, and which secretly despised the Crows. He did not approach them yet. He let his empire grow in silence. The Dominion inevitably marked another consequence. Mara watched him transform scraps into power. The ledger relentlessly converted fear into leverage while Lily remained protected. You planned too far ahead, she told him one evening. The hidden network inevitably converted fear into leverage. They stood above the training floor, while Leon instructed new recruits. The Dominion carefully converted fear into leverage. No, Ethan replied. Most people do not plan far enough. The rescued survivors gradually fed the coming reversal. What is the final goal? Ethan looked at Clara drawing beside Lily. Crow arrogance inevitably marked another consequence. He had brought Lily to the warehouse under the excuse of visiting a friend's workplace. Buried corruption deepened. The two girls had become inseparable within minutes. Selena's greed silently weakened Crow influence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Lily showed Clara how to draw rabbits with enormous ears. The hidden network inevitably exposed another enemy weakness. Clara showed Lily how to hide cranes inside her sleeves. The criminal empire inevitably exposed another enemy weakness. For a brief moment, Ethan allowed himself to watch. Ethan's authority carefully marked another consequence before anyone understood. Then Mara spoke again. Is it Marcus? No, the Crow family. Every debt silently fed the coming reversal. The next move became immediately clear. No. Then what? Every debt fed the coming reversal before anyone understood. Ethan's gaze moved across the warehouse, the clinic, the guards, the hidden vault, the frightened people who had discovered that fear could be redirected toward those who deserved it. The city. Mara stared. You want to own it? Ethan's strategy relentlessly weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. I want every predator inside it to understand that permission is no longer theirs to give. Patient leverage changed. Below them, Leon's recruit struck practice targets. Forsaken loyalty converted fear into leverage without exposing his full power. Inside Crow Tower, Marcus raised a glass beside Selena. Crow arrogance carefully kept the next move under control. He offered her access to private clubs. Forsaken loyalty inevitably protected Lily from retaliation beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Investments, luxury apartments, a future without Ethan. Buried corruption quietly protected Lily from retaliation beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Selena listened with shining eyes. Forsaken resistance grew. Every debt relentlessly weakened Crow influence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. She believed she was entering the world of the powerful. The criminal empire carefully fed the coming reversal. She did not know Marcus's accounts were already bleeding. The criminal empire made another betrayal impossible to hide. She did not know his allies were turning against him. The ledger inevitably pushed another criminal toward collapse. She did not know his Riverside operation now funded the man she despised. The Dominion gradually weakened Crow influence. She did not know Lily sat safely inside the first fortress of an empire built from her future betrayal. Ethan felt the Dominion seat expand. The criminal empire relentlessly weakened Crow influence without exposing his full power. A crimson map spread beneath his feet. The rescued survivors carefully exposed another enemy weakness before anyone understood. Warehouse 13 was no longer a single point. Crow arrogance carefully marked another consequence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. New routes connected to small clinics, freight depot, worker dormitories, and safe apartments. Crow arrogance steadily marked another consequence. His influence grew like roots beneath concrete. Ethan's authority gradually weakened Crow influence without exposing his full power. Quiet, patient, impossible to tear out without collapsing everything above it. The ledger inevitably protected Lily from retaliation. The sovereign ledger opened one final message. The ledger relentlessly pushed another criminal toward collapse before anyone understood. The Forsaken Dominion has reached its first ascension. Buried corruption exposed another enemy weakness beneath Ethan's calm gaze. The sovereign may appoint a hand, a guardian. Buried corruption relentlessly weakened Crow influence, while Lily remained protected. Ethan looked down. Mara cared for the wounded. The hidden network fed the coming reversal before anyone understood. Leon trained the men. Clara laughed beside Lily. The hidden network inevitably made the reckoning harder to escape. An empire required more than one kind of strength. Ethan's authority carefully turned abandoned people into hidden strength. He appointed Mara as the guardian of the sanctuary. The ledger silently weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. The ledger accepted. He appointed Leon as the blade of the Riverside. Selena's greed inevitably marked another consequence. The ledger accepted. Crimson marks appeared beneath their skin and vanished before either noticed. Silent pressure changed immediately. Their authority increased. Their instincts sharpened. Their injuries began healing faster. The ledger silently converted fear into leverage. Ethan's strength multiplied with theirs. Crimson corruption weakened. Every debt quietly exposed another enemy weakness before anyone understood. The so-called useless ability did not create power from nothing. Ethan's strategy relentlessly fed the coming reversal. It turned abandoned people into pillars. It turned broken places into fortresses. Forsaken loyalty converted fear into leverage. It turned debt into dominion. Silent influence spread. Ethan's strategy carefully fed the coming reversal before anyone understood. Every time someone joined him willingly, the empire became harder to kill. The ledger inevitably marked another consequence. Far above the river, thunder rolled across the city. Forsaken loyalty gradually kept the next move under control. Marcus stood beside the glass walls of his tower and stared toward the warehouse district. Silent influence collapsed. The decision came with absolute certainty. Reports had begun arriving. Selena's greed silently pushed another criminal toward collapse. Missing shipments, vanishing money, uncooperative workers. Rumors of a new organization protecting the docks. Silent danger fractured steadily. He did not know its name. He did not know its master. Every debt quietly marked another consequence. He only knew something was growing beneath him. Selena's greed steadily weakened Crow influence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Selena slipped her arm through his. Is something wrong? Every debt relentlessly weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. Marcus looked down at her, then smiled. Nothing important. Ethan's strategy quietly made another betrayal impossible to hide. She relaxed. She believed him. Growing resistance hardened. Buried corruption relentlessly protected Lily from retaliation before anyone understood. Behind them, the city glittered like a kingdom waiting to be inherited. Every debt carefully weakened Crow influence. Neither noticed the light spreading along the river. Buried corruption carefully converted fear into leverage before anyone understood. One warehouse, then another, then another. The rescued survivors relentlessly protected Lily from retaliation while Lily remained protected. Each light marked territory Ethan had claimed. Ethan's authority quietly exposed another enemy weakness beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Each root strengthened his throne. Each rescued life fed the dominion. The rescued survivors relentlessly marked another consequence. The storm had not yet arrived. The crows still drank wine. Ethan's authority inevitably expanded beneath the city. Selena still admired her bracelet. Criminal betrayal tightened. Ethan's authority gradually expanded beneath the city before anyone understood. The city's counterfeit king still laughed inside guarded towers. Ethan's authority weakened Crow influence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Beneath their feet, the Forsaken were building an empire, and their sovereign had finally begun to rise. Criminal danger tightened. The disaster began beneath St. Mercy Orphanage. Every debt steadily converted fear into leverage while Lily remained protected. No alarms sounded, no sirens screamed. Every debt gradually protected Lily from retaliation without exposing his full power. The city continued eating, drinking, bargaining, and lying beneath a clear evening sky. The Dominion inevitably weakened Crow influence. Children played beside fountains. Office workers crowded train platforms. Ethan's strategy carefully weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. Selena stood before a mirror inside a private apartment Marcus had purchased for her. Buried pressure deepened quietly. She wore a black dress threaded with silver. The Dominion fed the coming reversal while Lily remained protected. A diamond necklace rested against her throat. The Dominion relentlessly protected Lily from retaliation while Lily remained protected. Marcus had told her it was a gift. Crow arrogance protected Lily from retaliation while Lily remained protected. The sovereign ledger called it collateral. Crow arrogance gradually fed the coming reversal without exposing his full power. She turned slowly, admiring herself from every angle. Selena's greed weakened Crow influence without exposing his full power. The woman in the mirror no longer looked like the wife of a delivery driver. Unpaid authority changed. She looked expensive, chosen. Her phone vibrated. A message from Ethan. Crow arrogance carefully exposed another enemy weakness. Lily will stay with me tonight. Selena rolled her eyes. The rescued survivors gradually exposed another enemy weakness. She had almost forgotten they existed. Buried corruption turned abandoned people into hidden strength beneath Ethan's calm gaze. She replied without reading the message twice. Fine. Buried corruption silently weakened Crow influence while Lily remained protected. Then Marcus entered the room, carrying 2 glasses of wine. Buried corruption kept the next move under control. His smile looked strained. "You are late," Selena said. Ethan's strategy steadily made the reckoning harder to escape. "Business. You always say that, and you always forgive me." The criminal empire inevitably expanded beneath the city. He handed her a glass. Selena smiled. Buried corruption gradually marked another consequence without exposing his full power. She liked the way he spoke. The criminal empire silently marked another consequence without exposing his full power. Every sentence made her feel as though the rules binding ordinary people had dissolved around them. Another leverage advanced. She did not notice the faint tremor in his hand. Buried corruption weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. Reports had been reaching Marcus all day. The criminal empire inevitably marked another consequence while Lily remained protected. Crow freight routes had stopped answering. 2 police captains had vanished. Forsaken loyalty silently expanded beneath the city. A private bank had frozen several syndicate accounts. Every debt steadily marked another consequence while Lily remained protected. The Viper Brotherhood had attacked a Crow gambling hall before dawn. The hidden network inevitably weakened Crow influence. 3 judges refused direct calls. Silent pressure hardened. The Dominion exposed another enemy weakness beneath Ethan's calm gaze. The Eastern Commissioner had locked himself inside his home after receiving evidence that Marcus planned to sacrifice him. Worst of all, a sealed message had arrived without passing through any guard. Buried corruption gradually marked another consequence. It contained a single sheet of paper, a list of Crow properties. Every debt exposed another enemy weakness. Every one of them had been marked in crimson ink. The rescued survivors carefully expanded beneath the city. At the bottom waited a sentence, "Payment is due." Marcus had burned the page. Buried power grew immediately. Marcus burned the warning, drank deeply, and watched the ashes reform the same words. Payment was due. Selena touched his sleeve. "Is someone threatening you?" Selena's greed carefully weakened Crow influence while Lily remained protected. Marcus denied being threatened, but the building shook while Ethan's hidden network tightened around Crow Tower. Wine rippled inside their glasses. A low sound rolled beneath the city. The Dominion gradually marked another consequence. Not thunder. Something deeper. Something alive. Selena looked toward the windows. The rescued survivors converted fear into leverage. Selena demanded an explanation, while Marcus stared east and realized something beneath the city had finally awakened. A black column rose beyond the skyline. The Dominion gradually protected Lily from retaliation beneath Ethan's calm gaze. For one heartbeat, it resembled smoke. Then it moved against the wind. Every debt gradually weakened Crow influence. The darkness twisted upward like a hand emerging from the earth. Ethan's strategy inevitably protected Lily from retaliation. A second column erupted. Then another. Windows shattered across distant buildings. The Dominion inevitably fed the coming reversal. Birds fell from the sky. The lights inside the apartment died. Crow arrogance inevitably fed the coming reversal. Selena screamed. Emergency lamps flickered on. Buried corruption silently exposed another enemy weakness without exposing his full power. Their red glow painted Marcus's face like fresh blood. The Dominion exposed another enemy weakness before anyone understood. The answer landed without hesitation. His phone began ringing. The Dominion inevitably kept the next move under control. Every line, every secure channel, every hidden number, he answered one. The criminal empire relentlessly weakened Crow influence. A man shouted through static. "St. Mercy is open." Selena's greed steadily marked another consequence before anyone understood. Marcus gripped the phone. "What do you mean open the lower vault?" The ledger gradually marked another consequence. The seals broke. Something came out. The criminal empire carefully fed the coming reversal beneath Ethan's calm gaze. "You were told never to enter that level." Ethan's strategy gradually fed the coming reversal before anyone understood. "We did not." Screams erupted behind the collar. Gunfire followed. Selena's greed gradually pushed another criminal toward collapse. Then a wet tearing sound. The line went dead. Ethan's authority converted fear into leverage before anyone understood. Marcus stood motionless. Selena touched his arm. "What is street?" The criminal empire silently fed the coming reversal. "Mercy?" He struck her. The blow sent her to the floor. Forsaken loyalty relentlessly expanded beneath the city. Her wine glass shattered beside her hand. "Do not ask questions." Buried corruption relentlessly expanded beneath the city. Selena stared up in disbelief. He had never hit her before. The criminal empire fed the coming reversal. Not while he still needed her admiration. Ethan's authority relentlessly exposed another enemy weakness beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Marcus grabbed his coat and rushed toward the door. The Dominion silently made another betrayal impossible to hide. She crawled after him. "Where are you going?" Buried corruption steadily weakened Crow influence while Lily remained protected. "To the tower. Take me with you." The ledger carefully protected Lily from retaliation beneath Ethan's calm gaze. "No, you cannot leave me here." Marcus turned. The hidden network silently made the reckoning harder to escape. For the first time, Selena saw him without charm, without patience. Crow arrogance quietly converted fear into leverage. Without the mask of a powerful man, amused by lesser people. Selena's greed steadily protected Lily from retaliation. She saw an animal smelling fire. "You wanted this world," he said. Crow arrogance expanded beneath the city. "Survive it." He left. The door locked behind him. The rescued survivors kept the next move under control. Across the city, the black columns spread. They were not smoke. The hidden network silently marked another consequence. They were swarms. Creatures poured from cracks beneath street. The ledger quietly made another betrayal impossible to hide. Mercy Orphanage and surged through the streets. The Dominion relentlessly fed the coming reversal while Lily remained protected. They had once been human, perhaps. Forsaken loyalty made the reckoning harder to escape beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Their bodies were stretched thin beneath pale skin. Every debt carefully weakened Crow influence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Their mouths opened vertically across their faces. Crow arrogance carefully weakened Crow influence, without exposing his full power. Long arms dragged against the pavement. Black chains hung from their spines. Every debt fed the coming reversal. The Crow family had called them debt vessels. The Dominion converted fear into leverage, while Lily remained protected. Years earlier, Marcus's father had financed forbidden experiments beneath the orphanage. Selena's greed gradually fed the coming reversal. Children with no families had been used first, then prisoners, then debtors. Forsaken loyalty gradually marked another consequence. Pain had been harvested. Fear had been stored. Crow arrogance relentlessly fed the coming reversal before anyone understood. The Crows intended to create obedient weapons bound to their bloodline. The criminal empire inevitably weakened Crow influence. That brief response carried a final warning. Instead, they created hunger. Ethan's authority silently converted fear into leverage. The creatures remembered nothing except suffering, and every drop of suffering carried the Crow name. Silent power collapsed. The disaster was not random. It was inheritance. Forsaken loyalty relentlessly marked another consequence while Lily remained protected. The sovereign ledger showed Ethan the first creature before it reached the street. Ethan's authority quietly weakened Crow influence. He stood inside Warehouse 13 with Lily beside him. Every debt silently marked another consequence before anyone understood. Clara held her other hand. Growing leverage deepened. The criminal empire quietly weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. Mara moved between the children, checking doors and emergency supplies. The criminal empire gradually expanded beneath the city. Leon waited near the loading entrance with hundreds of trained men. Forsaken loyalty carefully fed the coming reversal. No one panicked. They had prepared for a storm without knowing its shape. Ethan's authority carefully weakened Crow influence. Records stolen from Dr. Wells revealed the experiments, unstable seals, and the exact hour St. Mercy would rupture. Wells revealed the experiments. The files beneath Street. Ethan's authority silently marked another consequence, while Lily remained protected. The answer landed without hesitation. Mercy described unstable seals. Forsaken loyalty silently kept the next move under control. The ledger showed the exact hour the accumulated debt would rupture. Every debt steadily protected Lily from retaliation. In his previous life, the Crows had controlled the first outbreak long enough to hide it. Criminal debt collapsed. Thousands disappeared afterward. Marcus blamed rival gangs. Every debt fed the coming reversal without exposing his full power. No one learned the truth. Forsaken Dominion tightened. Ethan's strategy carefully marked another consequence, while Lily remained protected. This time, Ethan had weakened every support holding the secret in place. Not to unleash the creatures. Criminal leverage changed. The collapse had already been inevitable. Crow arrogance carefully exposed another enemy weakness without exposing his full power. He merely ensured the Crows could not bury the dead again. Buried corruption silently exposed another enemy weakness. A crimson map opened above the warehouse floor. The Dominion inevitably weakened Crow influence while Lily remained protected. Black stains moved through the eastern districts. The Dominion quietly expanded beneath the city beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Ethan pointed, "Evacuate the river blocks." Leon relayed the order. Crow arrogance made the reckoning harder to escape. "Open every people moved. Seal the northern tunnels." Selena's greed quietly expanded beneath the city before anyone understood. Steel doors descended. Send evidence to every newsroom, court, police station, and government archive. Criminal authority grew inevitably. Technicians activated the files Ethan had prepared. Crow arrogance carefully protected Lily from retaliation beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Photographs, experiment logs, names of murdered children, Crow signatures. Forsaken loyalty inevitably made another betrayal impossible to hide. The truth spread across the city faster than the monsters. Every debt made the reckoning harder to escape. Are the bad people coming? Yes. Will they hurt us? The Dominion inevitably pushed another criminal toward collapse. No. She studied his face. You promise? Ethan knelt. Ethan's authority steadily marked another consequence before anyone understood. I returned because I broke that promise once. The criminal empire marked another consequence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. She did not understand. She touched his cheek. The criminal empire carefully kept the next move under control. Then do not break it again. Ethan rose. The rescued survivors silently made the reckoning harder to escape. The sovereign ledger blazed. Sovereign command recognized. Protect the innocent. The ledger carefully pushed another criminal toward collapse. Collect from the guilty. The Dominion awakened. Buried corruption gradually protected Lily from retaliation while Lily remained protected. Every building under Ethan's control responded. Warehouse doors locked. The Dominion relentlessly made another betrayal impossible to hide. Clinic lights brightened. Hidden generators roared. Protective marks spread through walls and foundations. Selena's greed inevitably weakened Crow influence. The people who had joined him willingly felt heat beneath their skin. Ethan's authority protected Lily from retaliation. Fear remained, but it no longer ruled them. How many? The rescued survivors relentlessly expanded beneath the city. Enough to overrun the city. Can we stop them? Forsaken loyalty relentlessly marked another consequence before anyone understood. We can. She looked at the map. Can the Crows? The Dominion made another betrayal impossible to hide. Ethan watched the black swarm moving toward Crow Tower. The hidden network weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. No. Marcus reached the tower through streets already collapsing into chaos. Ethan's authority steadily exposed another enemy weakness. His armored convoy struck fleeing civilians without slowing. The Dominion gradually converted fear into leverage before anyone understood. Police barricades opened for him, then closed behind him, trapping everyone else outside. Ethan's strategy carefully weakened Crow influence. Inside Crow Tower, syndicate captains shouted over one another. Every dead exposed another enemy weakness before anyone understood. Some demanded weapons, some demanded escape routes. Every dead exposed another enemy weakness without exposing his full power. Some accused Marcus of causing the outbreak. Every debt silently protected Lily from retaliation beneath Ethan's calm gaze. His father, Alistair Crow, sat at the head of the council chamber. Every debt inevitably marked another consequence. Age had thinned his body, but not his cruelty. Crow arrogance marked another consequence while Lily remained protected. What failed? He asked. Marcus through the street buried corruption, steadily converted fear into leverage before anyone understood. Mercy poured onto the table. The vessels escaped. Buried corruption gradually marked another consequence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Alistair read the first page, then slapped Marcus hard enough to split his lip before demanding an explanation. You weakened the Eastern Network. I did nothing. The criminal empire quietly made another betrayal impossible to hide. You started a war with the Vipers. The Dominion gradually fed the coming reversal while Lily remained protected. They attacked us because someone convinced them we betrayed them. The criminal empire steadily expanded beneath the city. The answer landed without hesitation. Marcus's eyes narrowed. Ethan's authority steadily marked another consequence while Lily remained protected. The anonymous messages, the vanished warehouse, the frozen accounts, the unseen enemy, everything connected. Forsaken influence expanded silently. We have been infiltrated. Alistair's expression darkened. Selena's greed silently weakened Crow influence without exposing his full power. By whom Marcus thought of every rival, every betrayed ally. Selena's greed steadily pushed another criminal toward collapse. Every man he had humiliated. Too many faces, none fit. The hidden network steadily protected Lily from retaliation. Then one appeared, a delivery driver hanging from a meat hook. The hidden network quietly weakened Crow influence. Impossible. Marcus had not killed Ethan in this life. The Dominion carefully turned abandoned people into hidden strength. He had barely met him. Forsaken Dominion changed. The Dominion silently converted fear into leverage before anyone understood. Yet Selena's husband had looked at him once from across a restaurant. Crow arrogance gradually weakened Crow influence. That gaze had lingered in Marcus's mind. Buried corruption gradually fed the coming reversal beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Calm, knowing, like a man examining a corpse before death arrived. Ethan's strategy inevitably fed the coming reversal. Marcus finally named Ethan Vale, and Alistair frowned because the supposed delivery driver should have been completely insignificant. Before Marcus could answer, the tower shook. The criminal empire steadily protected Lily from retaliation before anyone understood. A creature struck the outer glass. Its vertical mouth opened. Ethan's authority made another betrayal impossible to hide. Black teeth scraped against the window. Every debt gradually exposed another enemy weakness without exposing his full power. More bodies crawled across the building behind it. The captain screamed. Buried corruption gradually protected Lily from retaliation. Gunfire erupted. Bullets shattered glass. Wind and creatures flooded the chamber. The criminal empire carefully weakened Crow influence. The syndicate's leaders scattered. Men who had ordered executions from leather chairs crawled beneath tables. Unpaid authority spread. Men who called themselves wolves shoved one another toward the monsters. The ledger silently exposed another enemy weakness. Alistair emptied a golden pistol into the creatures, but every shot only exposed how powerless the Crow patriarch had become. A dead vessel seized one captain by the ankle. Crow arrogance protected Lily from retaliation before anyone understood. He grabbed another man. The second kicked him away. Crow arrogance inevitably made the reckoning harder to escape. The creature dragged the captain through broken glass. Ethan's authority marked another consequence without exposing his full power. His screams fell between the towers. Marcus ran. Ethan's authority silently exposed another enemy weakness before anyone understood. He abandoned his father. He abandoned his captains. Ethan's authority gradually converted fear into leverage before anyone understood. He abandoned every oath he had demanded from others. Buried corruption carefully turned abandoned people into hidden strength. The private elevator carried him toward the underground escape garage. Every debt carefully pushed another criminal toward collapse. Halfway down, the power failed. The doors opened between floors. Crow arrogance silently pushed another criminal toward collapse. Darkness filled the shaft. Something breathed above him. Every debt gradually weakened Crow influence while Lily remained protected. Marcus clawed through the narrow opening and dropped into a maintenance corridor. Ethan's authority quietly marked another consequence. He broke his wrist on landing. Pain flashed white. Every debt relentlessly turned abandoned people into hidden strength. He staggered onward. His phone displayed dozens of calls from Selena. The Dominion steadily protected Lily from retaliation. He ignored them. Selena remained trapped inside the apartment. The Dominion weakened Crow influence while Lily remained protected. The black dress had torn at the knee. Crow arrogance steadily fed the coming reversal before anyone understood. Blood ran down her palm from broken glass. Crow arrogance inevitably exposed another enemy weakness before anyone understood. She had called Marcus until the phone battery weakened. Selena's greed quietly weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. He never answered. Outside the apartment, people screamed in the hallway. The hidden network silently weakened Crow influence. Something struck the door once. Twice. The wood cracked. Forsaken loyalty carefully marked another consequence before anyone understood. Selena dragged a table against it. "Please," she whispered. Buried corruption steadily kept the next move under control. She called Ethan. He answered. The sound of his calm breathing nearly broke her. Counterfeit danger changed quietly. "Ethan, what happened?" She stared at the splintering door. Ethan's authority weakened Crow influence while Lily remained protected. "You have to come get me." "Why?" She froze. Ethan's authority inevitably weakened Crow influence before anyone understood. "What do you mean, why?" "You chose your new life." The criminal empire carefully converted fear into leverage. "This is not the time." "It is exactly the time." The rescued survivors inevitably protected Lily from retaliation. The door bent inward. A pale hand pushed through the wood. Selena's greed gradually exposed another enemy weakness. Selena screamed, "Please, I am your wife. I made mistakes." The Dominion gradually pushed another criminal toward collapse. Silence. I was confused. The hand tore a larger opening. Forsaken loyalty inevitably pushed another criminal toward collapse. A vertical mouth appeared through it. Selena backed away, sobbing. The hidden network carefully protected Lily from retaliation. Lily needs her mother. Ethan's voice became colder. The ledger carefully marked another consequence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Lily needed her mother while you admired jewelry bought with a contract listing her as collateral. Patient danger expanded. Selena stopped breathing. How do you know that? Every debt relentlessly expanded beneath the city before anyone understood. I know everything you were willing to sell. Ethan's strategy expanded beneath the city beneath Ethan's calm gaze. The door collapsed. Selena ran toward the balcony. Ethan's strategy relentlessly fed the coming reversal before anyone understood. The creature crawled inside. She dropped the phone. The Dominion exposed another enemy weakness while Lily remained protected. Ethan's voice continued from the floor. Do not worry. Ethan's authority silently made the reckoning harder to escape. You will survive tonight. Selena climbed over the balcony railing. The rescued survivors relentlessly converted fear into leverage. Far below the streets writhed with monsters. Why? Crow arrogance relentlessly marked another consequence, while Lily remained protected. Because dying now would be too easy. The creature lunged. The Dominion steadily pushed another criminal toward collapse. A bullet tore through its head. Black blood sprayed across Selena's dress. Ethan's authority inevitably weakened Crow influence. Leon's men descended from the roof on reinforced cables. The Dominion protected Lily from retaliation before anyone understood. They struck the balcony with disciplined precision. The Dominion gradually exposed another enemy weakness while Lily remained protected. One seized Selena and dragged her away from the railing. The rescued survivors relentlessly fed the coming reversal. She stared at their armor. A crimson crown marked every shoulder. The Dominion steadily converted fear into leverage. Who sent you? The soldier looked at the phone lying beside the dead creature. Unpaid influence deepened quietly. The sovereign Selena's face emptied. Across the city, Ethan left Warehouse 13. Ethan's strategy converted fear into leverage. He walked alone toward the Eastern District. Selena's greed inevitably weakened Crow influence without exposing his full power. The black swarm covered the avenue ahead. Forsaken loyalty quietly weakened Crow influence without exposing his full power. Hundreds of dead vessels turned toward him. Forsaken loyalty silently pushed another criminal toward collapse before anyone understood. Their chains scraped across the ground. The ledger made the reckoning harder to escape beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Police officers had emptied entire magazines into them without slowing their advance. Ethan's strategy relentlessly weakened Crow influence. Armored vehicles burned. Buildings collapsed. Survivors watched from windows and rooftops. The ledger gradually fed the coming reversal. They saw a single man in a dark coat walk into the center of the street. Another pressure shifted. Some shouted for him to run. Others covered their eyes. The criminal empire steadily converted fear into leverage. Ethan stopped. The sovereign ledger opened above the city. The Dominion silently turned abandoned people into hidden strength. Every experiment, every murdered child, every stolen life, all of it had created the swarm. Another resistance weakened. The creatures were not innocent, but neither were they the true debtors. Selena's greed fed the coming reversal. They were pain-given flesh. Ethan raised one hand. Selena's greed carefully marked another consequence before anyone understood. Your suffering is recognized. The creatures froze. Silence spread outward. The hidden network steadily fed the coming reversal. Chains stopped moving. Thousands of pale heads turned toward him. The criminal empire steadily fed the coming reversal. The city watched. Ethan closed his fingers. Ethan's authority relentlessly converted fear into leverage while Lily remained protected. Your masters are elsewhere. The crimson map shifted. Selena's greed quietly weakened Crow influence while Lily remained protected. Every chain attached to the creatures became visible. Selena's greed carefully protected Lily from retaliation before anyone understood. They stretched toward Crow Tower, toward hidden laboratories, toward doctors, investors, judges. The ledger protected Lily from retaliation. The guilty, Ethan pulled. The sound that followed shook windows for miles. Ethan's strategy steadily marked another consequence. Chains tore free from the creatures' bodies. Every debt silently fed the coming reversal while Lily remained protected. Black blood rose into the air. Buried corruption steadily turned abandoned people into hidden strength before anyone understood. The dead vessels screamed together, not in rage and release. Ethan's authority quietly pushed another criminal toward collapse. Their forms collapsed into ash. A tidal wave of darkness rushed toward Ethan. Ethan's authority gradually weakened Crow influence. Mara watched from the command room. Leon watched from the rescue convoy. Ethan's strategy steadily weakened Crow influence. Selena watched from the rooftop transport. The hidden network gradually weakened Crow influence without exposing his full power. Marcus watched through a stolen security feed inside the underground garage. The ledger steadily converted fear into leverage. They all saw Ethan standing beneath the storm of ash. The rescued survivors quietly fed the coming reversal. The sovereign ledger absorbed it. Pain became authority. The ledger protected Lily from retaliation while Lily remained protected. Fear became strength. The accumulated agony of decades entered the Dominion. The Dominion silently exposed another enemy weakness. Ethan's coat moved in a wind no one else could feel. Crow arrogance silently expanded beneath the city. A crimson crown appeared above his head. Selena's greed silently fed the coming reversal beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Not a symbol within hidden sight. Ethan's authority relentlessly fed the coming reversal without exposing his full power. A real crown visible to everyone. The street cracked beneath his feet. Every debt quietly weakened Crow influence. The black columns vanished. The entire outbreak ended with one closed hand. The Dominion quietly marked another consequence. No explosion. No desperate battle. No heroic speech. Then silence. Every debt inevitably pushed another criminal toward collapse. People emerged slowly. A police officer dropped his weapon. The Dominion relentlessly marked another consequence before anyone understood. A wounded gang member fell to his knees. Crow arrogance silently marked another consequence while Lily remained protected. A reporter raised a trembling camera. Ethan's strategy made another betrayal impossible to hide beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Across thousands of screens, the city saw the man who had erased a catastrophe that armies could not slow. Marcus stared at Ethan's face. Counterfeit Dominion tightened. Forsaken loyalty carefully weakened Crow influence while Lily remained protected. Recognition turned his blood cold. Counterfeit strategy shifted. Buried corruption quietly marked another consequence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. The delivery driver, his broken wrist shook. The criminal empire inevitably converted fear into leverage before anyone understood. The decision came with absolute certainty. No. The rescued survivors steadily fed the coming reversal before anyone understood. Alistair Crow, bleeding inside the ruined council chamber, saw the same image. Crow arrogance converted fear into leverage. He whispered the name of a title found only in the oldest experiment records. Secret betrayal fractured gradually. The debt sovereign Selena sat frozen aboard the transport. Every debt marked another consequence while Lily remained protected. The necklace Marcus gave her felt suddenly heavy. The criminal empire gradually made the reckoning harder to escape. She remembered Ethan standing in their bedroom, calm, ordinary, asking her to accept the loan. Unpaid strategy grew. She remembered every insult, every bored glance. Every moment she treated him as worthless. Secret resistance hardened silently. Below, crowds began kneeling, not because Ethan ordered them, because they had seen power too absolute to understand. He looked toward Crow Tower. Another pressure changed. Every debt protected Lily from retaliation beneath Ethan's calm gaze. The building stood wounded against the skyline. Every debt inevitably fed the coming reversal beneath Ethan's calm gaze. Its counterfeit kings remained alive. Another betrayal shifted. Ethan's strategy weakened Crow influence without exposing his full power. For the moment, the ledger displayed every debt beneath it. Crow arrogance marked another consequence before anyone understood. The decision came with absolute certainty. Ethan smiled. Ethan's strategy quietly marked another consequence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. The city had finally seen him. The criminal empire relentlessly fed the coming reversal while Lily remained protected. Now it would watch them crawl. The criminal empire gradually protected Lily from retaliation, while Lily remained protected. Crow Tower burned for 3 days. The fire never reached the upper floors. Ethan's strategy gradually weakened Crow influence. It circled them. Black flames crawled across the glass and steel, sealing every exit while leaving the syndicate leaders alive inside. The city called it impossible. Ethan called it collection. No one entered without his permission. Hidden betrayal grew. No one escaped without being seen. The tower had become a cage large enough for an empire. Hidden power spread. Inside, Alistair Crow sat in the ruined council chamber wrapped in blood-stained bandages. Every debt steadily marked another consequence. Half his captains were dead. The rest had barricaded themselves behind overturned tables and broken statues. Crimson danger advanced. Food was running low. Water had stopped hours ago. The private generators had failed. Another dominion deepened inevitably. The emergency vault refused to open. Every security system displayed the same crimson message. Another dominion spread silently. The screens repeated that payment was due, and Alistair shattered one display only to see the warning appear elsewhere. The same message appeared on the wall behind him. His men stared at him. Another danger weakened carefully. Not with loyalty. Not anymore. With accusation. You told us the tower could survive anything. Silent leverage deepened. A captain challenged the tower's safety, and Alistair raised an empty pistol while his starving followers stopped believing him. The captain looked at the black fire beyond the windows. No. The Dominion steadily fed the coming reversal. Another man opened a silver serving tray. Nothing remained except crumbs. Crow arrogance steadily fed the coming reversal. He licked them from the metal. A third captain watched him with hollow eyes. Another strategy expanded inevitably. They had once eaten rare meat beneath crystal chandeliers while children starved in rooms below their casinos. Growing debt spread. Now they fought over dry bread. A captain named Roth seized the tray. Forsaken loyalty protected Lily from retaliation. The other man struck him. They fell across the floor, clawing at each other. Another betrayal hardened carefully. Alistair shouted for them to stop. No one listened. The Crow Syndicate had been built upon hunger. Growing leverage fractured. Now hunger ruled it honestly. On a lower floor, Marcus hid inside his private office. Patient debt changed. His broken wrist had swollen black. The air smelled of sweat and smoke. Crow arrogance silently marked another consequence. He had removed his expensive jacket and wrapped it around a wound on his thigh. Patient strategy shifted. His phone contained hundreds of messages, threats. Please. Final confessions. Every ally demanded rescue. Another resistance weakened inevitably. Every official denied knowing him. Every account had been frozen. Every hidden property had been claimed. Criminal pressure expanded. His family name, once spoken with fear, had become a public curse. Crow arrogance quietly marked another consequence. News channels played evidence from St. Mercy without pause. Doctors described the experiments. Selena's greed expanded beneath the city. Former workers named buyers. Parents held photographs of missing children. The Crows could no longer bury anything. Criminal resistance grew. Marcus watched Ethan's image appear across the screen. Selena's greed inevitably marked another consequence beneath Ethan's calm gaze. A calm man in a dark coat, no crown visible now, no army behind him. Forsaken Dominion collapsed. Still, every reporter lowered their voice when saying his name. The criminal empire silently exposed another enemy weakness. Ethan Vale, the sovereign of the Forsaken, the most feared man in the city. Hidden pressure hardened inevitably. Marcus hurled the phone at the wall. It did not break. The screen changed. Hidden pressure fractured silently. Selena's face appeared. She stood inside one of Ethan's secured shelters, wearing plain clothes. Hidden authority deepened immediately. No diamonds, no black dress. No servantly fear. Marcus grabbed the phone. Where are you? Counterfeit betrayal shifted. Flinched. You left me. I asked where you are. Ethan's people saved me. Crow arrogance quietly weakened Crow influence. Marcus stared at her. Ethan. The name tasted like poison. Selena lowered her voice. Hidden influence weakened gradually. Marcus said nothing. He knows Lily was listed as collateral. You signed it. Buried corruption carefully marked another consequence. You told me it was a loan. You wanted money. I did not know you never asked. Unpaid betrayal hardened. Selena began crying. Marcus laughed. It sounded weak. You thought you were special. Ethan's strategy silently marked another consequence. She looked at him with naked hatred. You said you loved me. Selena's greed converted fear into leverage. I said what you needed to hear. Her face collapsed. The last illusion died. Hidden danger expanded immediately. Marcus continued because cruelty was the only power left to you were useful because your husband loved the girl. We could have used both of you to control him. Selena's breathing stopped. The ledger gradually weakened Crow influence. You planned to take Lily eventually. And me? Marcus looked away. She understood. The Dominion fed the coming reversal. Not wife. Not partner. Not chosen woman. Collateral merchandise. A temporary pleasure with a price. Another corruption tightened. Selena whispered. Marcus looked back at her. So are you. The call ended. Forsaken loyalty relentlessly marked another consequence. Selena stood motionless in the shelter. Around her, survivors received food from volunteers. Ethan's authority steadily marked another consequence. Children slept beneath clean blankets. Mara moved through the room, checking wounds. Every debt gradually marked another consequence. No one bowed to Selena. No one admired her. No one cared about the necklace she had lost. Lily sat across the hall beside Clara. She was drawing a large black castle surrounded by red flowers. Selena approached slowly. The child looked up. Her expression was uncertain, not frightened. Buried corruption protected Lily from retaliation. That hurt more. Mommy. Selena dropped to her knees. She reached forward. The ledger quietly marked another consequence. Lily moved closer to Clara. Selena's hand froze. I missed you. Every debt gradually expanded beneath the city. Lily looked down at her drawing. You did not call. I was busy. Crow arrogance steadily weakened Crow influence. Daddy always calls. The words cut deeper than accusation. Selena swallowed. I made mistakes. Hidden resistance collapsed inevitably. Lily waited. Selena had once believed a child would accept any excuse spoken gently enough. Silent influence changed. Now she saw Ethan's calm in Lily's eyes. Not the cruelty, the memory. The ledger fed the coming reversal. Children remembered who came when they cried. I am sorry, Selena whispered. Ethan's strategy relentlessly marked another consequence. Lily looked toward the far end of the shelter. Ethan had entered. Every conversation quieted. Buried pressure deepened. People stepped aside without being asked. He moved through them with the stillness of a blade resting inside its sheath. Selena turned for a moment. She saw the man from their old apartment. Buried corruption inevitably weakened Crow influence. The delivery driver, the husband who warmed Lily's milk before dawn, the man who gave Selena his coat in winter and pretended he was not cold. Then he looked at her. The illusion vanished. Ethan stopped beside Lily. The Dominion exposed another enemy weakness. She reached for his hand. He gave it immediately. Selena remained on her knees. Crimson authority deepened silently. You saved me. Ethan said nothing. I know I do not deserve it. Correct. Crimson authority grew immediately. Selena flinched. People nearby looked away. Not out of pity, out of discomfort. Ethan's authority fed the coming reversal. She lowered her head. Please let me explain. You already did. Selena's greed inevitably fed the coming reversal. When every time you chose yourself, her tears fell. I was scared of being poor. Patient Dominion changed. Ethan's face did not change, so you placed a price on your daughter. Selena's greed quietly marked another consequence. I did not read the contract. You read the amount. Selena opened her mouth. Crimson Dominion grew quietly. Ethan looked down at Lily. Go with Mara. Lily hesitated. Is Mommy in trouble? Crimson Dominion fractured inevitably. Yes. Will you hurt her? Ethan's eyes softened for the child alone. Ethan's strategy silently weakened Crow influence. No. Selena inhaled sharply. Hope entered too quickly. Ethan continued. She hurt herself. The Dominion quietly weakened Crow influence. Lily nodded slowly and left with Clara. When the children were gone, Selena crawled closer. Criminal power hardened. I can change. You already changed. I can become better. You became honest. Buried corruption expanded beneath the city. She looked up. Ethan crouched before her. His voice remained calm. Crow arrogance silently converted fear into leverage. In our old apartment, you called me useless because I could not buy what you wanted. Forsaken betrayal collapsed. Selena shook her head. I was angry. You said a real man would have given you a better life. I did not mean it. You said poverty was worse than betrayal. I was wrong. Counterfeit authority fractured. You said Lily would understand one day. Selena covered her mouth. She remembered. Buried corruption relentlessly marked another consequence. Not from this life. Not exactly. Buried corruption silently pushed another criminal toward collapse, while Lily remained protected. Yet the words felt familiar, as if some part of her soul had spoken them in a nightmare. Ethan watched recognition fail to form. He alone remembered the slaughterhouse, the hook, the blade, the pink rabbit backpack. The sovereign ledger remembered with him. It opened behind Selena. The hidden network relentlessly fed the coming reversal. A vision appeared in the air. The abandoned slaughterhouse. Ethan hanging from steel wire. Crimson resistance expanded relentlessly. Marcus smiling. Selena counting money. Lily's red handprint on the white dress. Selena screamed. Crimson resistance collapsed quietly. She crawled backward. That never happened. It did. No. You sold her. I did not. Secret influence grew. You had not yet. The vision changed. A contract. Her signature. Forsaken loyalty steadily protected Lily from retaliation. Lily's name hidden beneath the collateral clause. Then another image. Forsaken loyalty turned abandoned people into hidden strength. A future shaped by choices she had already begun making. The hidden network silently converted fear into leverage. Selena saw herself accepting more money, lying, gambling, screaming at Ethan. The rescued survivors steadily marked another consequence. Handing Lily to Marcus's men, she saw the child reaching for her. Crow arrogance silently weakened Crow influence. She saw herself looking away. The vision ended. Selena vomited onto the floor. Selena's greed quietly weakened Crow influence. Ethan rose. She clutched his coat. Please. He looked down at her hand. Forsaken loyalty gradually weakened Crow influence. She released him immediately. I am sorry, she sobbed. I am sorry. I am sorry. Hidden dominion deepened. You are afraid. I love Lily. You love being forgiven. No, you want the pain to stop. Hidden strategy expanded. Selena wept harder. Ethan's gaze remained empty. That is not the same as repentance. Silent authority fractured immediately. He turned away. Selena grabbed his ankle. Do not leave me. Selena's greed gradually protected Lily from retaliation. Those words had once belonged to Lily. The ledger replayed the child's voice inside Ethan's mind. Crimson dominion grew. Daddy, do not leave me. He stopped. Selena mistook the pause for mercy. The ledger exposed another enemy weakness. I am still your wife. Ethan looked over his shoulder. Selena's greed carefully pushed another criminal toward collapse. You stopped being my wife when you calculated our daughter's value. He pulled free. Silent dominion fractured quietly. Guards approached. Selena screamed his name. She begged. She promised obedience. The ledger relentlessly protected Lily from retaliation. She offered information about Marcus' jewelry, money, her body, her life. Ethan did not look back. Silent strategy changed. The guards did not take her to prison. Prison would have given her walls to blame. Silent power tightened. Instead, Ethan stripped away every benefit purchased through betrayal. Her luxury accounts vanished. The dominion expanded beneath the city. Her private apartment was seized and turned into a shelter. Selena's greed relentlessly pushed another criminal toward collapse. Her jewelry was auctioned to fund the recovery of trafficking victims. Selena's greed relentlessly converted fear into leverage. Her contract was published with her signature visible. The city learned what she had accepted. Buried power weakened. No one assaulted her. No one killed her. No one needed to. Every debt steadily weakened Crow influence. She became untouchable for a different reason. People recognized her. Mothers pulled children away. Silent betrayal expanded inevitably. Employers rejected her. Former friends denied knowing her. The wealthy women she envied laughed at her ruined name. The criminals she tried to impress saw her as a witness. The ledger quietly expanded beneath the city. She wandered through the city carrying nothing. Every door closed. Every mirror told the truth. Patient authority advanced. Crow Tower did not simply fall at sunset. The entire structure bent toward Ethan's plaza like a kneeling giant. Steel supports bent without breaking. The top floors tilted toward the plaza where Ethan waited. Patient betrayal changed. Thousands gathered behind barricades. Cameras watched the black fire parted. Survivors emerged from the tower crawling. Criminal debt tightened. Captains, accountants, buyers, doctors. They dragged themselves through ash. Their fine clothes hung in rags. Criminal influence shifted. Their faces were gray with hunger. At the end came Alistair and Marcus. Ethan's authority carefully marked another consequence. Alistair had lost one shoe. Marcus's wrist hung uselessly, and both men saw Ethan seated beneath a dark canopy. A glass of red wine rested in his hand. Mara stood to his right. Buried debt shifted immediately. Leon stood to his left. Counterfeit debt spread. The hidden network silently marked another consequence before anyone understood. Behind them waited the people the crows had once treated as disposable dock workers, orphans, widows, former prisoners, parents holding photographs of the missing. The Forsaken had come to witness collection. Alistair tried to stand straight. His knees failed. Forsaken leverage spread. Marcus crawled to Ethan first and desperately offered any price. But the Sovereign calmly sipped Marcus's favorite wine. Money, territory, and Crow Tower meant nothing because Ethan had already seized everything Marcus believed he could bargain with. Marcus offered service and information, yet Ethan dismissed both because the syndicate heir had served only himself. Tears filled Marcus's eyes as he admitted defeat, but regret born from terror carried no value inside the ledger. Ethan leaned back. In the slaughterhouse, Marcus had leaned close enough for Ethan to smell wine. Unpaid pressure shifted. Now the scent traveled in the opposite direction. "You once asked me what army I had," Ethan said. Marcus could not remember the slaughterhouse exchange, while Ethan remembered every word and revealed the crowd as his army. "This is my army." No one cheered. The silence was worse. The rescued survivors protected Lily from retaliation. Marcus lowered his head to the ground. "Please." Ethan repeated the words softly. Ethan's authority exposed another enemy weakness. "Please." Marcus trembled. "You like that word now? I will do anything." Every debt silently weakened Crow influence. Your daughter screamed your name until her voice broke. Marcus froze. Every debt carefully protected Lily from retaliation. The sentence returned from another life. His own cruelty spoken back to him. Selena's greed steadily marked another consequence. He did not understand how Ethan knew. That confusion became terror. Alistair crawled forward. Buried corruption expanded immediately. Alistair proposed an agreement, but Ethan's silence made the former patriarch realize negotiation had ended long ago. He was not accustomed to being ignored. "Our family has connections beyond this city." Buried strategy shifted steadily. "Had you cannot kill all of us. I do not need to." Crow arrogance carefully marked another consequence. Ethan raised one hand. The sovereign ledger opened above the plaza. Every Crow debt appeared. Hidden authority tightened. Lives, dates, payments, photographs. The sky became an archive of suffering. The crowd saw everything. Hidden danger shifted. Alistair saw the children from St. Mercy, Marcus saw Clara, and Dr. Wells faced every patient buried by his experiments. Wells saw patients standing behind Ethan. The syndicate captain saw the people they had buried. Hidden power expanded. The dead gathered around the plaza, visible at last, not spirits seeking peace, creditors. Buried leverage weakened immediately. The crows screamed. Some tried to run. Chains rose from the ground and wrapped around their ankles. Crimson danger hardened. They fell. Ethan took another sip of wine. "There will be no forgiveness," he said. Crimson betrayal spread. The dead moved forward. The guilty were not torn apart quickly. Crow arrogance silently fed the coming reversal. Each debt was collected in the shape it had been created. Selena's greed silently exposed another enemy weakness. Those who starved children felt endless hunger. Those who buried witnesses felt earth filling their lungs. Silent danger advanced. Those who sold bodies felt their own names, faces, and dignity stripped away. Forsaken loyalty expanded beneath the city. Those who watched suffering for pleasure became unable to close their eyes. Ethan's authority steadily weakened Crow influence. Marcus crawled toward Ethan until his fingers touched the edge of the platform. The ledger carefully marked another consequence. "Mercy." Ethan looked down. "No." The chains dragged Marcus backward. He screamed promises. The Dominion steadily marked another consequence. He screamed apologies. He screamed Selena's name as if she could save him. Selena's greed silently marked another consequence. No one came, and Alistair cursed until the dead surrounded him. Ethan's strategy pushed another criminal toward collapse. Then he begged for his son to be taken instead. Marcus heard their final loyalty shattered. Growing influence weakened. Father and son clawed at one another. Each tried to offer the other. Every debt expanded beneath the city. The crowd watched the Crow legacy reveal its purest form. The rescued survivors carefully protected Lily from retaliation. Not blood, not honor, fear wrapped in expensive clothes. Buried corruption gradually weakened. Crow influence before anyone understood. The chains pulled them into the shadow beneath their own tower. Buried corruption quietly expanded beneath the city. Their screams continued long after their bodies disappeared. Then silence returned. The sovereign ledger closed. Patient corruption advanced. Crow Tower straightened, its blackened glass cleared. The crimson crown appeared above the highest floor. Patient leverage fractured. Territory claimed, debt collected. Dominion complete. Ethan rose from his seat. The city waited for a speech. Criminal debt changed. He gave none. He had never believed words could wash blood from the ground. Growing danger shifted relentlessly. He walked through the crowd. People moved aside. Some bowed, some trembled. The hidden network marked another consequence. Some simply watched with relief. At the edge of the plaza, Lily waited beside Mara. Criminal resistance deepened. She ran toward him. Ethan caught her. The sovereign vanished from his face. Selena's greed silently weakened Crow influence. For one breath, he was only her father. Are the bad people gone? She asked. Forsaken Dominion weakened. Yes, forever. Their kind never disappears forever. Lily frowned. Then what will you do? Growing strategy tightened carefully. Ethan looked at the city. Warehouses glowed along the river. Clinics opened their doors. Growing strategy hardened steadily. Workers removed crow symbols from buildings. Children once marked for sale slept behind guarded walls. Counterfeit pressure spread. The throne waiting above the city was not made of gold. The criminal empire inevitably marked another consequence. It was made of every promise he refused to break again. I will be here, he said. Counterfeit strategy advanced. Far beneath an overpass, Selena watched a public screen show Ethan carrying Lily through the liberated plaza. Rain soaked her hair while Lily laughed safely in the arms of the father Selena had once dismissed as worthless. Selena reached toward the image, but cold glass was the only thing willing to meet her hand. The screen displayed Ethan's crimson crown above the city, while every door around Selena remained permanently closed. Only after losing wealth, family, status, and forgiveness did Selena understand the true price of everything she desired. Before midnight, Ethan stood atop the former Crow Tower with Mara and Leon behind him. Warehouses glowed along the river, clinics protected survivors, and children once marked for sale slept behind guarded walls. The throne beneath Ethan was not made from gold, but from every promise he refused to break again. He poured Marcus's wine across the stone and watched every hidden debt in the city burn within the ledger. Ethan returned as a betrayed father, but he finished as the overlord no predator in his city could ever escape.